There's some things about Samson that we need to clarify, because every time someone puts a picture of Samson, they put this guy that's all built with muscles everywhere. I don't think Samson was built. I think Samson was puny. And I'll tell you why I think that way. They always asked him where his strength came from. If he was built, they'll know where his strength came from. So every picture, he's always this muscular guy with long hair and the little sash up there. This is Samson. No, I think he looked like a nerd. Skinny, scrawny, a little too pale. You know, I think that's what he looked like. So we're going to start there. Samson was odd because he was promised. God told his parents before Samson was born that he is going to give them a son, and he shall be a judge to the nation. Whoa, could you imagine if that happened in your family? I'm going to give you a son, and he's going to be powerful in the nation. Anybody got a word like that from God when before your wife got pregnant or when you got pregnant? Anybody got that? Because I sure didn't. God didn't tell me. He told me it was male or female. That's all I got. You had to see when we went and see the sonogram for Elijah, and the woman looked at me. She says, "Do you want to know what it is?" I said, "I already know what it is." She's like, "You do?" "Yes, I do." "Well, what is he? What is it?" I said, "It's a boy." "How you know it's a boy?" I heard from God. Did God say he's a boy? No, he just used a masculine pronoun. God knows about pronouns. Yeah, he knows pronouns. He's called him a he. He didn't have to say, "Lo and behold, he's a male." He just said he. He said, "Well, that's a boy." With Ariel, it's a she. Oh, with Lizzie, we had some false prophets come in here. "Oh, you have twins in there." Yeah, you remember that, Erica? I'm not Erica, Lisa. Mother. Yeah, you were. Oh, you came in right after she was born. Okay. Oh, that's why I see you way over there. Annie was there. We have this lady, she called herself Mother Truly. She says, "I'm the mother of the church." Well, her real name was Truly. It wasn't Truly. Truly's the character I make after her. Yeah, she was so funny. I made a character out of her. It was hilarious because she says, "I am the mother of the church." I did not know the church had a mother. And she says, "You're having twins." And I'm like, "No, we're not. I would love for us to have twins, but no, we're not having twins." "Yes, you are, Pastor." She couldn't say my name right. She would call me Ronaldo. And then she says, "I have a son that looks just like you, Bishop Ronaldo." And we went all the way to Miami to look at this guy that looks just like me. He didn't look anything like me. Your eyes can be deceiving. Anyway, he was announced that he was coming, and then God made him promise certain things. He says, I need you to make a Nazarene vow. He's going to be a Nazarene. And as a Nazarene, he can't touch anything that's dead. Got that rule? Got it already? Can't touch anything dead. Can't drink anything that's alcoholic. Can't even touch grapes. Got it? All right. And the last thing is, he can't cut his hair. Got the rules? We got it. Can't touch anything dead. Got that one right? All right. Can't drink anything alcoholic. Can't even touch grapes. Got that one? Can't cut the hair. 3 rules. What happened to us when God gives us rules? We find exceptions, right? We find exceptions to God's rules. All right. So one time he was walking by and there was a lion, and the lion came and attacked him, and he killed the lion. Later on, he gave the people a puzzle because he went back by the lion again one time and saw the carcass of the lion. And inside the carcass of the lions, bees moved in and made some beehives, and there was honey in it. And guess what he did? He got the honey. He touched something dead. Sound just like us, doesn't it? God said, don't do it. We said, but there was honey. He touched the honey anyway. Now, Samson is not the character that I'm going to talk about, but he's one of my favorite characters. So we're going to start saying some things, and then we're going to release you to Kids Church. And we're going to start in Judges chapter 16. And in Judges chapter 16, he's inside a place, and the people said, you know what? We know he's here. And in the morning, when he comes out, we're going to kill him. So he spends the night and gets up in the middle of the night. They were ready for him in the morning. They weren't ready for him at nighttime. And he goes out to the city gates, and you have to understand what city gates look like. If you ever got to go to France and seen, they have this little arch, and the arch, you have to think, oh man, they probably had gates at one time at this arch, and the gates would be huge. Samson went to the city gates and just pulled the whole gate off, with hinges and all. He just took the gates with him and walked up the hill with the gates. Because Samson always lost his temper. He had a problem with temper. He lost his temper. One time he got married, and the wife told the riddle. He gave him a riddle. He said, I'll give you a riddle. If you answer me my riddle, then I forgot what he said he was going to promise to do. But if you can't answer him, he wanted like 200 clothes. The people wanted like 200 clothes, these expensive robes. So he gave him the riddle. And the riddle was something like, what is a killer, but then turn around and you can get something sweet out of it. I'm paraphrasing it in today's language. What is a killer? And then you later can get something sweet out of it. I already gave you the answer. What is it? The lion. And his wife said, would you please tell me the answer? And he didn't tell her the answer. And then when you have feasts in this time, it was lots of days. It wasn't like one day. You couldn't be poor and get married. It's expensive. Yeah, and they still do that in India. If you go to India, you still have feasts, a wedding feast for 7 days. So he finally told her the answer, and she told the people, and he had to go and kill a whole bunch of folks and took their clothes. He killed folks and took their clothes. Okay, he's not supposed to touch anything dead. He killed the folks and took their clothes. And then gave him the clothes. There you go. And one time he got mad again, and he got 2 foxes and tied their tails together and then lit their tails. And they went off running into the garden and burned everything down. Because what happened? You lit their tails with 2 foxes. They want to go this way. So I want to go that way. So they burn everything down. Burn the house and everything down. Samson was an interesting character. I really like him. But Samson had his weakness. So, all right, kids, go have a wonderful kids' church. And we're going to talk about, with the adults, some of the weaknesses of Samson. And we're going to deal with our lady of today, Delilah. Now, if you have noticed, you have some bad characters in the Bible that no one ever repeats. For instance, we have Judas. Have any of you ever met someone named Judas? Why doesn't anyone name themselves Judas? Because of what he did. So now that name becomes a bad name. You can't call your child Judas. Why not? It was the most famous name. Did y'all know that Judas was the most famous name in the Old Testament? Because it came from the word Judah. So the tribe of Judah. So we named you Judas because of Judah. Now we can't name you Judah because of Judah. It's weird because Jesus had a brother whose name was Judah. And he wrote a book. It's in the New Testament. Why isn't it called Judah? Because it became a bad name, so he calls it Jude. But his name was Judah. All right, so we're going to start on chapter 16, and we're going to read it through, and we're going to read some of the bad stuff, okay, because it starts really bad. One day, Samson went to Gaza, where he saw a prostitute. He went in to spend the night with her. The people of Gaza were told, Samson is here. So they surrounded the place and lay in wait for him all night at the city gate. They made no move during the night, saying, at dawn we'll kill him. So we started our story with telling you this. But here he's going to go see a prostitute. Now we know we're not supposed to do that. That is sin. We know that's not allowed. But Samson was an interesting character. Samson, being an Israeli, did not like Israeli women. He didn't find them exciting. All the women he liked were foreigners. He liked foreign women. Now, that might seem a little strange to you, but I've seen the same thing happen in church. I grew up in church where all the girls at church when I was a teenager were not interested in me at all. They called me a goody-goody. Today will be a goody two-shoes. I was just too good. They didn't want a good guy because good guys are boring. At least that's what somebody told them. Good guys are boring. Well, that was years ago. Now looking back, hindsight is always 20/20. None of those girls ever got married. Not any of them. Why? They like the bad boys. Well, the bad boys don't want to get married. That's why they're bad boys. So since the bad boys don't want to get married, the girls didn't get married. So the goody-goody ended up getting married. And the goody-goody married a goody-goody. Where it's great. Come find out, I'm not so boring. Amen. So sometimes at church, you'll have the nice guys to walk in, and we're praying for more guys to walk in. When the nice guy walks in, I do want some of our nice girls to find a nice guy. That's why we're preaching on the subjects of women and what can we get out of them, because I want you to have open eyes. Here's the odd thing about a living. The more you live, the more you understand how you should have lived. Isn't that weird? You live and now you find out I should have lived a little different than how I've been living. And you start to contemplate of what could have been instead of what is. With Elijah going to college, I've had to make several phone calls and try to fix things for him because he's kind of young, and since he's young, people don't really pay much attention to him when he's fussing. And if you know Elijah doesn't know how to fuss. He goes around the bush. You have to have patience to find out what he wants, because he'll just go around, and it's like, okay, what is it that you want? Then he'll start going around again and get to the point, and he'll go around and go around. So I have to make phone calls for him. When I was 18, I joined the United States Army. I had the U.S. College Fund and the GI Bill, which were worth about $100,000. $100,000 for college in 91, it's a lot of money. I went to college, and my GI Bill and U.S. College Fund did not pay my first semester. Went to college the second semester, and the GI Bill and U.S. College Fund didn't pay my second semester. And when I got all the bills, I just dropped out. And I thought to myself, recently, if my dad would have intervened, I would have finished a long time ago. Because I joined the Army to get money for college. I got money for college, but the government didn't ever do what they were supposed to do, Do you realize they just paid for it like 6 years ago? Finally, they paid for it. Imagine if I would have gone to college in 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, finished bachelor's. 96, 97, finished master's. 98, 99, finished doctorate. And I stop and consider, I would have never moved to Alabama. God intended that. He intended for that to kind of stop me in my tracks, because then I would be so involved in other things that I probably wouldn't want to listen to God. So looking back at our lives, sometimes we start asking questions, and even things that could have been, that would have been good, may not have been good for you. So when you start weighing everything, weigh it right. Weigh all things correctly. Because you might not be who you are. For our young people, we want them to make the right choices to become who they should be. So I fight for my son a lot. And my son doesn't always listen. He's really not good at money. He does not get a passing score with money. He just like any teenage boy, you give him $20, he's going to spend 21. You know, he doesn't know how to manage money well. So I have to help him in that situation. Well, did I know how to manage money well when I was his age? The reality is I didn't. I was really bad too. I spent too much money on other people. Sound like a problem? Yeah, because it was on my credit card and it took me forever to pay it off. We have, finally, Samson is going up the hill, and I want you to read it for yourself. But Samson lay there only until the middle of the night. Then he got up and took hold of the door of the city gates, together with the 2 posts, and tore them loose, bar and all. He lifted them to his shoulder and carried them to the top of the hill that faced Hebron. Now they were waiting for him right there at the gate, and he goes and rips the gate. That is funny. Somebody should make a movie about that. Imagine the person that was sleeping, lying on the gate. Then all of a sudden they hit the ground. What happened? They didn't have lights. So it's not like they could see. You have the total darkness or probably some moonlight. What is that? It had to look really weird if you saw it over the moonlight. A scrawny person carrying 2 big old gates, posts and all, on top of his head. Samson was an interesting character. And then he runs in and to this Philistine woman called Delilah. Now, Delilah is one of those baby names. So for that Delilah that's on the radio, y'all have heard of Delilah on the radio? I like listening to her show. I always wonder why they named her Delilah. Delilah, it's a baby name. That's what you would give a baby girl, and it means in today's time, like, she's sexy. You've heard parents call their little daughter sexy. It doesn't mean... No, you haven't? Okay, well, we need to bring you around some more African Americans so you can hear them call their baby sexy. Because it doesn't mean sex, okay? It's just a cute little girl, and so she's sexy. I don't agree with the name. My niece, my sister used to call her sexy all the time. My brother called her sexy, and I'm like, I don't think that's appropriate for a little kid. But that's what Delilah is. It's the same thing as being sexy, but she's a grown-up and still has a baby name. Something's wrong when you're a grown-up and you still have a baby name. Don't you think so? What was your baby name? Every once in a while I still call Elijah by his baby name, and every once in a while someone hears me and repeats it. And he'll stop them. That's for my family. That's not for you. You're not allowed to call me that. Oh. Why doesn't he tell me to stop calling him that? What would I do if Elijah tells me, Dad, don't call me that? What am I going to do? I'm going to keep doing it. I don't care. He doesn't support me. I support him. Don't go the opposite way. Maybe when I'm old and he maybe have to support me, then I'll probably just Elijah, you know. But right now, hey, I can call him by his baby name because for me, he's always going to be a baby. You imagine when he's like 60 and I'm in my 80s and I'm still calling him the baby name? And his kids are like, why does granddad call you that? Oh, because he's my dad. Get away with it, right? Dad gets away with it. So Delilah is a baby name. So they go to Delilah. And already he likes these women, that they are foreigners, and she's a Philistine, and he falls in love with her. Well, how do we know that he falls in love with her? Because she says it. She said, you say you love me, and how could you love me? See, they decided they're going to pay her. Find out what's his secret. So ladies, here's what I want you to learn from Delilah. Be patient. It takes patience to be Delilah. She doesn't get the right answer. I want you to read it for yourself. Verse 4, sometime later he fell in love with a woman in the valley of Succoth, whose name was Delilah. The rulers of the Philistines went to her and said, see if you can lure him into showing you the secret of his great strength and how we can overpower him so we may tie him up and subdue him. Each one of us will give you 1,100 shekels of silver. Now it doesn't say how many of them there are. It just say how much they're going to give each. For what I see, this is a lot of money. It's a lot of money, right? So Delilah said to Samson, tell me the secret of your great strength and how you can be tied up and subdued. She didn't waste any time, did she? She got right to work. She didn't even sign an agreement. She didn't say, yes, I'm going to do it. The moment she saw him, tell me how you get your great strength. Now, come on, here again. If he's built, has all these muscles, she wouldn't ask that question. It doesn't make any sense. If we had Arnold Schwarzenegger walk in here and all of a sudden just grab Selah and lift her chair over his head, we're going to look at Arnold Schwarzenegger and say, you're Arnold. We know where you get your strength. You lift weights. We all know you. We saw you. We know you're the first Terminator. We know you're the second one too. We know you. The last Terminator, they had the computer graphic of Arnold Schwarzenegger, which was kind of cool because he's an old man now. All his movies now, that's his line. I'm too old for this. Y'all remember when all the action heroes all had a line that they'll say over and over? His used to be, I'll be back. Now it's like, I'm too old for this. I'll be back. We all know where he gets his strength. Here is Samson. Where you get your strength from, man? Can you tell me how I can get you tied up and people overpower you? Shouldn't his antenna have gone up? Shouldn't there have been some reasoning why she wants to know this? Right? Doesn't that make sense? Well, why isn't he thinking that way? He has a sickness. What is the sickness called? It's not lust. It's not lust. It started lust. Y'all just looking at me like crazy if you call it a sickness. Okay. Scientifically speaking, when you're in love, you have all the signs of being sick. You do things that are not good for you. You make choices that will get you in trouble. You may do drugs. You may sleep around. Things that will hurt you. Donna's just looking at me like, what? So we got to be careful when our kids say they're in love. You're in love with who? Who is it? Oh, it's that guy over there. And find out about the guy. Find out about the girl. Yeah, don't be all Don't hire a private detective. Don't do that. Just, I want to meet him. I want to talk with him. I want to get to know him before the sickness gets a little crazy. Yeah, we're supposed to love one another. I don't consider that being sick, but when you fall in love, it's just the word itself tells you you fell in love. You didn't decide to love. You just kind of found yourself in love. And sometimes when you're in love, you do stupid things. So Samson was always doing stupid things for being in love. He has a whole history of doing stupid things for being in love. So here she's going to ask him a question. And what do you think he's going to say? Samson answered her, "If anyone ties me with 7 fresh bowstrings that have not been dried, I'll become as weak as any other man." It's not like violin bow. It's like archery bow. You get 7 strings that haven't even been dried up. I'm going to be weak. It makes sense to her, so he had to look scrawny, right? He did. Well, guess what he did? He lied. And what did the woman do? She cried. Oh, she tried it. Thank you. Oh, you did? All right. So she tried it. And then she called the people, "Come on in." And what happened? Let's see what happened to him. Then the rulers of the Philistines brought her 7 fresh bowstrings that had not been dried, and she tied him with them. With men hiding in the room, she called to him, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." But he snapped the bowstrings as easily as a piece of string snaps when it comes close to a flame. So the secret of his strength was not discovered. So she had some guys that came in the room. They were ready. And she says, here comes the Philistines. They're about to get you. And he just goes, and just breaks it. The poor guy's like, man, we came here for nothing. That wasn't it. Did she have a fit? You think she had a fit? All right. Now, for all of you who say she did not. She did not have a fit. Well, I know. Look at the next verse. Then Delilah said to Samson, "You have made a fool out of me. You lied to me. Come now, tell me how you can be tied." No fit. You made a fool out of me, man. Come on now. Tell me the truth. Is that how we handle our problems? That's not how we handle it. All of a sudden it's like, oh, how could you do that to me? I think we take things too personal. I have the same issue. I mean, I'm always seeing issues with how people do things. Always, because I do comparisons. How many of you do comparisons? Comparisons are not always good, is it? I had 2 professors that asked me, why are you going to go to your graduate degree? You don't need it. Why are you going to it? You're going right to your graduate degree. Why? And I looked at them and I said, do you ask that question to anybody else? Or is it just me? Well, is that we're concerned. I said, but you're not concerned about everybody else. Why are you concerned about me? Well, Ronaldo, you have to understand. I said, okay, let me make it very plain to you. According to sociology, I have a better grasp of what I want to do because I have experience than those that are 21, 22 years old. So why aren't you asking the 21, 22-year-old, but you're asking the one who has better grasp of what they want to do? I know why. They don't know why. You realize when you live in Alabama and you're a minority, people who are not minority always want to tell you how you're supposed to live. I run into it all the time. Erica, you ran into it a few times too, right? People that are the majority always want to tell the minority what decision they need to make. Run into it all the time. Well, I know my comparison. I also have common sense. I can see it. Do I ever see that as a pastor? Yeah, I do too. I see it as a pastor as well. Even pastoring here. When I have majority, the majority people will do things that they would never do if their pastor was a majority. But when the pastor's a minority, they don't do it. Feel comfortable. So I too have comparisons. Is it right? Should I compare? Should you compare? See, Donna say, no, you're not supposed to compare. Oh, that's not true. Life is based on comparisons. But once you've come up with your answer, don't fly off the handle. That's the difference. Once you've come up with an answer, don't, you're doing this to me because I'm black. Maybe. What difference are you going to make? Are you going to make it any different by having an attitude? Or are you going to handle it differently? Do you all know that the university I attend does have issues with minorities? It's a proven fact. They've been sued many times for it. Did y'all know that? They have, and they've lost many times for not being fair to minorities. And we get a new president to just come in and just start firing everybody. Is it shaking stuff? Yeah, it's shaking stuff. But if he's not cautious, it'll happen all over again. So how did this happen? By comparison. You do this with this individual, you don't do this with that one. I had one subject that I was taking to where my grading was subjective. What that means is that the professor can give me whatever grade she thought I earned. And she gave me a failing grade on a term paper, a writing assignment. This is a music class, writing assignment, failing grade. I took my paper to the head of the English department. I said, can you do me a favor? Can you read this over and make some corrections for me and give it back to me, please? And she did that. And she says, Ronaldo, this is an A paper. Wait a second. English department gave me an A. Music department gave me a D. It's a writing assignment. Who knows more about writing? The English department. Comparison. A, D. What's wrong with this picture? Oh, they knew what they were doing. Thank you. They're trying to make me fail. So I went and took my comparison to the president. A, D. Something's not right here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A, D. What are you going to do? Did he make changes? Yeah, he did. Now all the grades are done on computer. You take the test. Everything is already pre-put. Can't come up with no odd grades. I have a 96 in the class right now. Comparisons do work, but did I fly off the handle? Did anybody get a phone call? You need to come to jail to bail me out. You understand the difference? Sometimes you fly off the handles for little things. Our ladies, I want you to hear me and hear me well. Sometimes you fly off the handle for little things. You'll accept the big things. You're fine with the big things, but it's just the little things that is all of a sudden just creep up on you, and you fly off the handle. It is the little foxes that ruin the vine. That's right here from the Judges. It's the little foxes. It's the little things. Why? In our life, we're prepared to handle big issues. We're not prepared to handle small things. Some small things. And then when you're a man, you always hear your wife fussing. It's like, what is she fussing about? I don't know. She's always fussing. Do you know that that's the idea of most men? Women just fuss. Chris, I'm not going to get you in trouble. You don't have to nod or anything. It's the little things. So I have a way to solve that issue in my house. You want to know? Anybody wants to know? Okay, it's very simple. All of a sudden, it's like, okay, losing your temper. I ask a question. Do you want to fight with me? No, I don't want to fight. Oh, okay. End of flying off the handle. That works in my house. But you would think Samson knows better now because he already fooled Delilah once. So how many more times does he have to do it? Well, mind you, he don't ever have to tell her. This is important. She is the enemy. Y'all think that sleeping with the enemy started in your generation? That's a movie? No, that's been going on for a long time. She is the enemy, but he likes the enemy. Sounds familiar, right? There's some people that are just attracted to all the bad things. They're attracted to the things that they shouldn't be attracted to. And all the time you tell them, don't be attracted to that, they're more attracted to it. So as a parent, I find that I can't be too hard. There's certain things that it's like, okay, I got to allow that one. Well, why? Because it can get worse. Y'all understand it can get worse, right? It's like, okay, he likes this girl. All right, permission. You can go ahead and go out with that girl. Pastor, what do you think? I don't like her. Why don't you like her? She is not good for him at all. Well, why you let him? I have judged the alternatives. If I am okay with her, it's going to pass. If I am not okay with her, he's going to stick it out and make it work. Parents, I'm talking to y'all. Because you got to deal with your kids with wisdom. You can't be against everything, and then you're against everything, and then you end up losing your child. So you kind of watch your battles. So here it is. He likes a bad girl. He knows she's not good for him, and he lies to her. He said, if anyone ties me securely with new ropes that have never been used, I'll become as weak as any other man. Tie me up with brand new ropes, I'm going to be weak. Number 2. He lied the first time, right? Did he have to say anything? He didn't have to say anything at all. He said, I don't want to share that with you. But you said you love me. Yeah, I love you, but I don't know you. Can you love someone and not know them? I can. Went to our building. Oh, by the way, all of you who showed up yesterday to help at the building, it's coming along very well. Yesterday, Octavio and Miguel, they finished the inside part of the main room. So all we have to do now is work on the top part, and then we're going to start working on the electrical stuff. Most of the junk is out of there. So thank you, workers. It's becoming kind of impressive now because we used to have a hill this big of junk. We got rid of the hill. No, he wasn't taller than me, but it was a tall hill. So thank you for coming in and working on the building yesterday. We're going to do that once a month. We're going to give up orchestra for one Saturday. So please come in and help. The more people we have, the more we'll get stuff done. So hopefully, if God's willing, we can be finished with all the junk next time we go. Hopefully. We don't have that much stuff left. So it's almost all out of there. So thank God. And then Miguel and Hermano Octavio did an excellent job up there on the scaffolding. And it's interesting because It's like, okay, this is what I want done. And they did it. I love when the 18, when a plan comes together. So thank you very much for all the work that you did. And going back to our Delilah, she hears the lie for the second time. He loves her, but he doesn't know her. Don't feel because you care for someone that you have to tell them all your secrets. So we understand. Some things take time. Some things take time. Our building yesterday, I got there and the guy that's using the other side of the building put a brick through every single window of his wife's car. Then began to hit the hood of the car. And here came the cops. What happened? He caught his wife with another guy. He didn't hit his wife. He hit his car. His friend was there, and his friend said, I'm concerned about him with the cops here. I said, why? Is his car? Yeah, but his wife is white, and he's black. They'll probably take him in because she's white. I'm like, he'll be fine. It's his car. They can't take him to jail for destroying his car. It was funny because while the cops were there, nobody else was there. The guy was there all by himself, and I stayed away too because I had stuff to do. I'm like, if they arrest him, then I'll intervene. They're not arresting him. I'm going to just stay away. The moment the cops came, all his friends came and gave him support. They blocked the street for all his friends. What happened? He's been married to this woman, but this woman did not feel like she was getting everything she needed. You're always at work. You never spend time with me. Well, he has to pay bills. How do you pay bills? You work. You work to pay bills. But what does she want? Stay underneath the bridge with him? All right, see, we're talking about Delilah here, right? Weigh everything. You're going to sit there and complain about, you don't spend enough time with me. And the guy's like, I got to work. You're expensive, girl. You're not free. My wife told me one time, she says, honey, you're lucky because I'm so easygoing. And I looked at her, I said, you're high maintenance. What you mean you're easygoing? She's like, what do you mean I'm high maintenance? And I began to explain to her how much she cost. And she was surprised. My own wife was surprised that she was expensive. I'm like, honey, every time you decide that you want to do something, I financially support you. You want to do that? Here you go. Now you want to do that? Here you go. Now you want to do that? Now here you go. You want to do that? Here you go. Here you go. I said, every time you want to do something, I put money. Whenever I want to do something, does it cost you? I said, so I don't cost you anything. You got to be patient with me, though. You got to have patience. But money, you don't cost me anything. I said, you cost me a lot. And it was so funny. She got this job at Donahoe. And she started getting her first real paycheck. And she says, honey, I want my own money. I'm like, you finally get a job and now you want your own money. That's funny, isn't it? So I said, you don't get to have your own money. Because for 21 years, you've had my money. So now, hey, we share. Just like we've done for 21 years. So I tell you what, here's the credit card. Put it on the card, I'll pay it every month. That's your own money. Does that work? Y'all looking at me like, I don't know. It works. Anytime she needs to buy something, she buys it. She don't have to call me, honey, can I buy this? She buys the stuff. At the end of the month, I pay for it. You see, I'm not looking for a fight. You understand? Sometimes you fight about stuff that no one needs to fight about. You fight about crazy stuff. I mean, with the lady yesterday, hey, You want to spend more time with them? Tell them quit your job. Let's spend time together. Well, he can't quit his job, right? Because what's going to happen when he quit his job? Can't take care of her. Wait, so she cheated on him because he don't spend enough time with her, and she would cheat on him if he didn't have a job. Can you win? Can we please turn that thing off? It's 82 degrees in here. I don't know why you're cold. Adrian is a paradox to me because, you know, Caucasian, you're usually warmer. And he's the lightest one in the family and always cold. So he's a paradox. All right, ladies, so we got to be careful which fights we have. Can you plan your fights? How many say yes, you can plan your fights? Raise your hand. 3. So the rest of you said you can't plan your fights. Or you're saying nothing. All right. I'm gonna use my wife again. My wife is in Europe, in Spain, and a kid did something, and the kid did something in the beginning of the day, and it's another teacher's like, you need to do something about this. And she's like, no, I'm not at the moment. I'm gonna stop. I'm going to process all the information, and at the end of the day, I will deal with it. But you need to do it right now. This cannot get... No. We're going to wait till I process everything, and towards the end of the day, I will deal with it. The lady says, no, you got to deal with it right now. And my wife looked at her and said, listen, you don't know what it is to be a minority. See, with you, this is just another thing. For me, this might make me lose my job because I'm a minority. So I need to process it. And she's like, oh, I didn't know. I'm so sorry. You are right. And my wife processed it, and by the end of the day, she did something about it. Then she planned her fight. She planned her fight. She planned it out, how she was going to do it, how she was going to handle it. You have to see me planning fights in my house. I am funny planning fights in my house. And my kids could tell you. It goes something like this. He's going to say this, and I'm going to say that. Then he's going to say this, and I'm going to say the other now. He's going to say this, and I'm going to say it. And then he's going to say it out, and I'm all through the house, and I'm pacing, and I'm fighting. And by the time I have to say something, I am so calm. Right, kids? Y'all have heard me at home. And I'm mad at home, right? I'm mad. I mean, I'm fuming at the mouth. I am so angry. It's like if I grab him right now, I'm just going to grab him by the neck and shake. I'm going to shake the devil out of him. That's what I'm going to do. By the time I see him, I'm blessing them. God bless you. God loves you. You're a great man of God. You are needed in the kingdom. Hey, I planned it out. It didn't work like how I planned it because I got all the mad out of me. I got it all out of me. And by the time I ran into them, I was nice and calm. But I planned it. So some of you, something is important. You need to plan. You need to plan what you're going to say before you say it. Stop just opening your mouth and letting everything hang out. I'm going to give them a piece of the mind. That's the problem. You've given so many pieces away, you don't have much left. You got to sit back and look at the whole thing. Weigh everything out. In a relationship, you weigh everything out. Weigh it out. And my wife and I have fights. Maybe one every 2 years. And it's weird when we have a fight because she fights. I kind of laugh. I'm not trying to be mean. It's just I don't get to see her like that often, so it's funny to me. She'll get mad. You have to, if you saw her mad, the veins will pop out and stuff. You know, it's like, that's funny. Yeah. Do I take her seriously? I do. I do listen to what she says, and I take her seriously. So Delilah took new ropes and tied him with them. Then with men hiding in the room, she called on him, Samson, the Philistines are upon you. But he snapped the ropes off of his arms, and if they were threads. Now, here it is, second lie. Lady, what you going to do? I'm going to be colloquial here. He done lied to you twice. What you going to do? Be honest. You're going to be mad, right? You're going to be really mad. Ooh, and then you're going to call your girlfriends. And your girlfriend going to tell you, you need to leave that man. Don't you put up with that. I won't put up with it if I were you. Here's the problem. She don't have a man. Why are you listening to her? If I had a man, if it's a big word. You don't have one. Stop giving suggestions. Someone put this on Facebook. Oh, girl, you don't know what he did. What he do? You don't know what he did. He went in the refrigerator and he ate my sandwich. And the friend comes, I'll be right over. And she comes in and bursts in the door. He ate your sandwich. You need to let him go. For eating a sandwich. Don't mess with my food. Some of us have some stuff that, man, listen, I'm going to be really honest. Sometimes when I have to do my pastoral duty and do some counseling, I have to stop myself from laughing. Because some of the things people tell me, they're funny to me. They really are. I mean, I remember one time I had to bite my finger not to laugh because it was so hilarious. You know, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, and I'm biting hard, too, because it's like, I'm going to burst out laughing any moment. And they're having a full-blown fight about something that I find so funny. So that's not right, Pastor. It was funny. There's some things that are just too funny. If you're having a full-blown fight because someone ate your sandwich, daggone it, go buy another one. They're not that expensive. It's a sandwich. You know, it's not a big... He's always eating my food. I always eat my wife's food. She makes it. Well, but I had it saved just for me. Next time, make two. You see, the solutions are kind of simplistic, right? He always eats your food. Make more. You know what was my suggestion at the end of the counseling session? Make more. What? He always eat your food? Make more. Well, what if he eats all that I make? Make more. Eventually, he can't eat it all. Make more. No big deal, right? Now, if you had to hear an answer to your dilemma and it's simplistic, would you be happy about it or would it make you mad? Most likely it will make you more mad. We don't want simple solutions. We want hard stuff. Well, you have to come back every Monday at this time and we're going to counsel for the next 4 years so we can get this problem rectified. We're okay with it. We're coming back every Monday because he eats your food. Understand that when you're coming to church and you hear something simple and it offends you, it's usually because you're proud. You think your problem is so big that God has to stop heaven and come down to help you solve it. Well, most problems are not difficult at all. First thing is, you have to decide that you don't want to fight. First thing. I'll tell you what my parents taught me when I was younger. It takes two to fight. Think about it. Whenever you see someone boxing and they're just boxing in the air, what are they doing? Call an exercise. They're not fighting. They're required to be hitting someone and that someone hitting back to be called a fight. So a lot of times we have fights that are not fights at all. Usually you're mad because you want to get mad. And ladies, some days you wake up and you just want to get mad. Be honest. There are days you just want to be mad. Do we ever get those days? Yeah, we do. I get them. I get days where I just want to be mad. You know what I do the days that I just want to be mad? I warn everybody. I do, don't I, Lizzie? Walk out the door. I'm in a bad mood today. Keep your distance away from me. I am really ticked off. What did we do? She didn't do anything. I already told you. I'm the one that got up mad. Keep your distance. Stay away. You think my kids listen? Oh, especially my two boys. It's like if I said nothing. The next moment already it's like, oh, Lord God. Thank you, Lord God, for giving me patience already. I'm going to knock them out. So, if you get up and you're in a bad mood, be nice and warn people. Be nice and warn. Don't warn them with a bad, I'm mad today. Just stay away from me. Don't do that. You're already starting a fight. I am not in the best mood today. Please, can you help my day be better? I go to school and I warn my professors. When I'm having a bad day, walk in. My piano teacher walked in and said, I have not practiced all week. I've had one of those weeks. Please do not fuss at me for not practicing. I'm a grown-up. Okay, Ronaldo. And when I say not practicing, it's not like my kids did not practice. That means I didn't practice as much as I would have liked to practice. So it's not the same thing. Or showing up on Saturday and hadn't even opened your case is not the same thing. I have weeks to where I don't practice as much as I would have liked to practice. And I warn my professor when I walk in the classroom. And then it usually ends up being some of my best days. It's weird. The days that I'm in a bad mood usually end up being some of my best days. Why? Because I am walking on eggshells. I'm being very cautious. Do I warn people in orchestra? I walk in, I'm having a very pressured day today. I'm usually not very nice when I'm having pressure. Today is one of those days. How about if you did that? Come on, now you do it. Play it through in your head. Wake up in the morning, bad mood. What do? No, you don't warn people. I already know about some of y'all. Y'all don't warn anybody. It's like surprise, surprise, surprise. Just in a bad mood. Do you always know when you're in a bad mood? Not really, until when someone says something to you that you answer kind of a little too harsh. Oh, wait a second. I'm in a bad mood today. All right, so Delilah got lied to again. How did she handle it? Let's see. Verse 13. Delilah then said to Samson, all this time you have been making a fool of me and lying to me. Tell me how you can be tied. Wait, doesn't that sound like the first time? No big deal. He lied twice. Delilah wants to get paid. She's going to get paid for the results. She's not going to get paid for the attempts. She's going to get paid for the results. Did she get her results yet? No. Well, we need to question about Samson. First of all, Samson married a woman or he's with a woman that all she wants to do is get paid, and she's like, I could care less about him, but I'm going to treat him nice. So can we learn that lesson? Treat your husband nice. Be nice. You don't know what I have to put up with, Pastor. I don't care. It's your husband. If it was your boyfriend, you'd be nice. What is it we can be nice to boyfriend but can't be nice to husband? You put up with stuff when they were boyfriend? Come on, it's the truth. You put up with stuff when they became husband now. I don't have to take this anymore. Why not? Be nice. You can be nice. Well, he's going to have to give me a lot more than what he's giving me if I'm going to have to. Why? You want to stay unhappy all your life or you want to be happy? Which one? Because I don't want to be with a miserable woman. That's hard to live with. I want my wife happy. You want that? There you go. You want there you go. Yeah, there you go. You want that too? There you go. You want, yes. Well, is it? But it keeps costing you, Pastor. Yeah, but then I'm happy. A happy wife makes a happy life. That's how it works in my house. My wife is happy. I'm happy. My kids are happy. I'm happy. My wife mad. I'm mad. My kids mad. I'm mad at my kids. Your life is not like that? Or your life might be a little different than mine. That your husband can be mad at you and you're happy. I've seen you mad plenty of times, ain't I? I'm always happy. Realization is that sometimes to be happy, you have to give up what you want. But I'm happy, so I can give up what I want. Well, my wife wanted to start a daycare. I had to pay for her to start a daycare. Then when the daycare wasn't working, I had to pay the employees to keep the daycare. And for 3 years, we were losing. For 3 years, I was maintaining the daycare. Then I just looked at her and said, honey, I'm not doing this again next year. I can't keep doing it. I'm tired. I'm tired of working to keep this going. And it's getting worse every year. So next year, we're going to have to drop it. Oh, okay. No problem. No fight. How about if I said that in the first month we started losing? Would there be a fight? Yeah, there would have been a fight. Because that's her baby. That's what she wants to do. But I've supported it for 3 years while I was losing. So it's like, can't fight with the 3 years that I supported. It's like, hey, I've been for this, but we can't keep doing it, and I keep losing. We had one employee that she got paid, and she got paid every week, and she saved her checks. She did not cash them. And after 6 months, she cashed them all. You imagine what that looked like in the bank account? Do you think I fussed? I didn't fuss. I went up to her and said, can you do me a favor? That's not very wise what you did, cashing everything at once. Because what if we no longer had the money there? We would have had bounce check fees and you wouldn't have had your money. So from now on, you get paid, you cash your check. That's not just here, that's anywhere. That's it. We can be a lot more calm if you decide to be calm. Can you decide to be calm? Is that, Pastor, I'm having my cycle right now, and it's hard to control myself when I'm having my cycle. Listen, my wife was giving birth to a child, and she was controlling herself. So don't tell me you can't control yourself when you're having your cycle. I don't want to hear it. I mean, my wife didn't scream. 3 kids, 4 contractions, not one scream. She squeezed the mess out of my hand, but not one single scream. You had to hear the girl next door to us. because the only thing covering us was one sheet. And she's screaming, "Get it out! Get it out! Get it out! I can't take it no more! Get it out! Get it out! Get it out!" And I peeked. Because I was intrigued. My wife wasn't screaming. And my wife is this little tiny thing. She wasn't screaming at all. She's like, and this one next to her is screaming. So I looked to the sheet and I started to laugh. I closed the sheet. This woman is about to have a baby. And she's crying to get it out. And it was the needle. She's about to have a watermelon and she's screaming for a needle. See, I told you some things are funny. That is funny. She's screaming to get out a needle while she's about to have a watermelon. You know, it's like, come on. All right, so here we go, another lie. He replied, "If you were to weave the 7 braids of my head into a fabric on the loom and tighten it with a pin, I'll become as weak as any other man." So while he was sleeping, Delilah took the 7 braids of his head, wove them into a fabric, and tightened it with a pin. Again she called to him, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." He awoke from his sleep and pulled up the pin and the loom with the fabric. Then she said to him, "How can you say, 'I love you,' when you won't confide in me? This is the 3rd time you have made a fool out of me and haven't told me the secret of your great strength." Now, ladies, we're not good with secrets. You find out somebody has a secret and you make it your mission that you need to find out what that secret is. I don't understand it because I don't need to know no one's secret. Matter of fact, even when God tells me certain things about certain people, I'm like, God, I didn't want to know that. I didn't want to do that at all. You could have kept that to yourself. See, a lot of people are out, do you want to know this information? I don't want to know a thing. I'm not nosy. What a bad thing to be a prophet and not nosy. I don't want to know anything about anybody. Well, why not? Because I get to live through it. I get to live through stuff that I don't want to be part of. I don't just see it. I go through it. Then watch the whole nastiness. I don't want to do that. Some things are like, okay, that's gross. Same young lady I was telling you about earlier that I saw at the funeral. She'll come in every Sunday and run straight to the altar. Every Sunday. Lay down at the altar. Father, please, 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 please don't tell Pastor Ronaldo. And every Sunday. I remember I went to a family reunion in California. And the family reunion in California, when some stuff was happening, God showed me the stuff that was happening at the same time it was happening. And I get back to church on Sunday. I said, you and you, I need to see you in my office after service. And it went something like this. When y'all were doing this at the trailer, in the room, I was standing right there. I didn't want to see that junk. Not nosy. Don't want to know. Don't want to see it. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to. And see, and I thought that there were times when I would be present in a place, I was just present and like God showed me. And one of our members, I'm not going to mention who it is because you know this person, was about to do something. And she saw me standing before the foot of her bed. And she stopped doing what she was about to do. And she says, Bishop is standing right there. And she drove straight to my house, and I said, I am so glad you didn't do that. Because I was right there. She's like, I know I saw you. Isn't that weird? Some things are kind of weird, right? Here it is. 3 times. 4 times. 4 lies. Didn't fly off the handle. What did she use? She used psychology. I'm glad I had to study psychology because there's some things in psychology that are really interesting. You can start using what people say against the person. I'm not going to teach you to do that because that's not nice. But that's what she did. You say you love me. Isn't that in there? You say you love me. What does that mean? When you love somebody, does it come with actions? Does it? The dad that loves his daughter and sexually abuses his daughter, does he love his daughter? Because that action does not, it's not supposed to go with one another, right? So love has a certain way of reacting. One of the ways of love reacting is protecting. Love protects. Love is supposed to naturally protect. I'm one of those weird people that if I'm down the street and I start having these strange feelings about someone in my family being in trouble, I rush home. You know, I kind of trust what I feel. I'll rush home. Everything's okay? Yeah? Okay, then I need to find out why I'm feeling like I needed to rush home. Because love protects. So she started using that word. You said you love me. Wives, you're married. Learn to use the L word. I love you, you love me. I love you, you love me. Now, some people are not comfortable with saying they love you, so you say it for them. I love you, you love me. My father-in-law could not say the L word. My wife grew up without hearing her dad say, I love you. Now he's in the 70s, and he always says it. Now it's a normal thing for him. When he was here last, he's like, Ronaldo, I love you. I looked at him and said, I love you too, Carlos. For me, it's not difficult. I didn't have to wait to turn 70 before I start using the L word. To me, it's simple. You know, hey, he's my father-in-law. He's my wife's dad. I love him. Why? He's my wife's dad. If he was a bad person, would I still love him? Yes. Why? He's my wife's dad. I love my wife, hence I love my wife's family. Do I always like my wife's family is another story. We understand? You have to start speaking things. The Bible said to speak things as though they were. So understand what this means. It means it's not right now, but speak it as it's going to be. Keep speaking it. Well, what if he just looks at me kind of weird? Let him. I love you, you love me. After a while, hey, you keep on hearing it as if that's his voice. After a while, you'll be surprised. They'll answer, I love you too. Why? There's some people, when they grow up, that's not normal for them. Speaking words are not normal for them. They didn't come from that to where that is comfortable. Guys, some guys walk on eggshells when it comes to how they feel. They're not used to allowing themselves to feel. But once you tell them how they feel, they start to feel comfortable. It makes no sense. But they do start feeling comfortable. Oh, well, she knows that I love her. Well, how she knows? She keeps on telling me that I love her. Start using it. She used it. She says, how can you keep on doing what you're doing and tell me that you love me? You see the psychology? So what does he do next? Did she drop that word in any other time before? No, she didn't. So all of a sudden now he drops his guard and he tells her all the truth. If you were to take my 7 locks and just cut them, I'll be as weak as a little infant. And then she knew he was saying the truth. She did it. She cut all his hair off. Y'all remember those rules, the 3 rules he wasn't supposed to do? Can't cut his hair. Remember I told you that I don't think Samson was all built and muscular. Because then 4 times she's asking where your strength comes from. Can't be that it's his muscles. How weird is his hair? The strength comes from his hair. Did the strength come from his hair, y'all? How many saying yes? The reality is there's no strength in hair. His strength was in God's promise. His strength was in God's promise. God promised him, as long as you have your hair, you'll have your strength. He cut his hair, there went his strength. So they came in and plucked his eyes out and tied him up. They forgot something. Samson was now blind. But what happens with your hair? It grows back. Aren't you glad that God is a God of second chances? God didn't just forget about Samson. God didn't just, okay, you were with Delilah, and Delilah used all the skills of a wise woman on you. What did I just call Delilah? I called her wise. She's a bad girl. Yeah, Delilah is a little baby name. Hey, sweetie, honey. She was wise with how she treated Samson. She didn't push Samson away. She pulled Samson to her. Do you see it? How many times you push people away and then wonder, it's my right? I've been married for 21 years. I think I have a successful marriage. Well, how do I know this? My wife is not angry that she's married to me. She's not bitter. She's not resentful. Any of you ever notice any of that about my wife? My wife enjoys my company. I enjoy hers. We go places together. We even do things together that most people that have been married as long as we have don't do. I go home, honey, we need some bread. Oh, okay, I put it in no, let's go to the grocery store. Oh, okay. And we go to the grocery store together. And we buy food together. We don't end up with just the bread. Good night, I wish it was just the bread. We'll end up coming home with a lot more food. What'd y'all do? Well, we went for bread, but then we realized we needed a lot more stuff. Well, why do you go grocery shopping and leave all the kids home? Because we don't get to spend a lot of time together, so we take advantage of time. And my wife will have all these papers to check. Honey, let's go to the grocery store. Okay, let's go. You can tell she's tired, but we're going to spend time together. And as long as we're in the car, we're having conversation. The other day, I told her, I said, before you leave to Europe, I want to take you out to eat. And my kids were all happy. Yay! We get to go out to eat. I said, no, yeah, I'll stay home. Oh. I took my wife to eat. We got to that restaurant. When they brought us the food, we just swallowed. We didn't even chew. We were so tired. Let's go. That was the quickest going out to eat ever because we were both exhausted. We ate. We went back home. It was like 20 minutes later. Yeah, I went to a restaurant. Yes. It was buffet. No. Why y'all back so fast? We're both tired. We've been married for so long that we realize when we come together, sometimes it's quick. We're going to go out to get something to eat, come right back because We're tired. Wives, your husbands do get tired. Husbands, your wife do get tired. Be mindful that people get tired. You want attention when they're tired. Why is it always you want attention when the other one is tired? Why don't you just get tired together? It makes it a lot easier. We're both tired. No problem. We're both going to go to sleep. We're tired. If we had more people like Delilah that dealt with their spouse as Delilah, we wouldn't have all these bunch of issues. Was Samson a good man? No, he was not a good man. He was always causing problems. Delilah was patient with him. Very much so, patient with him. Why would men go with these prostitutes? Because the prostitutes are going to treat them nice. I'm not for prostitutes. Please hear me well. That will be a waste of time for me. My wife treats me right. My wife treats me nice. If I fuss at my wife and I realize I was wrong, I apologize. If my wife fusses at me and she realizes she was wrong, she apologizes. Makes it easy. No one is like, I'm the boss, you got to do it my way. By the way, I'm not the boss. I'm not the boss of my wife. I'm not the boss of my kids. I'm not the boss of my house. I'm a manager. If we got that, life is easier. We get it? Please get it. You're not the boss. You're the manager. Why? God's the boss. God's the boss. I manage. That's all I do. My wife is the co-manager. We co-manage. What does that mean? We both manage. We're both managers. Neither one of us are the boss. So, ladies in here, you're not the boss. Stop trying to act like the boss. You're not the boss. Why don't I get so upset? I don't own the business. Do you get it? If the business goes under, it's not mine. Do we understand? I think it's so hot in here that some of us are getting a little drowsy. I'm hot too. But do you understand this? Your attitude all has to do with the way how you're seeing yourself. And sometimes you see yourself as not being treated right because you are making yourself the boss. But you're not. You are made to manage. You are the manager. My kids belong to God. They do not belong to me. Wherever He said for them to go, I am supposed to raise them for that direction. Do we understand? Is that scriptural? Raise them up in the way that they should go. Who is designing the way they should go? God is. So am I managing? Yes, I'm the manager. Am I the manager of my own household? Yes, because God's the head. God's the head. I'm not the head. I'm the second head, which is weird. So that's a manager. So I manage my house. When my kids are getting on my nerves, Lord God, this kid that you gave me, you know him. He's getting on my last nerve. He's yours. You handle him. I'm tired. What did I do? I went to the principal. I do that. I go to God about my kids all the time. They're yours. If I had to pick, I want to pick them like this. You gave them to me like this. You fix them. They're yours. What do I pray to God about my wife? You better believe it. Does she pray to God about me? Yeah, she does. We pray to God about each other. Well, why is it that most marriages do not revolve around God? Here's why. We all want to do what we want to do. That's it. We all want to do what we want to do. If we get God in the picture, we realize we can't do what we want to do. So we try to keep God out of it. I said, God, you're the center of my being. You're the center of my life. I told the young man yesterday after he told me his wife cheated on him. He said, she cheated on me at my cousin's house. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I said, I'm sorry for all the drama you're going through. I really am sorry. I said, but my wife is in Europe, and I am so glad that we don't have this kind of drama, because I would not be getting any sleep, wondering what in the world my wife is doing with some other man in Spain. But guess what? I don't have to worry about that. I'm getting the best sleep ever. I've had 2 nights in a row that I slept the whole entire night. I am so well rested. You just don't know it. I don't sleep that well when she's here. Well, why not? I'm conscious of her need. She moves, I wake up. She's not here. No one moves next to me. I'm asleep. Most men, they'll be concerned. They'll be worried. I just let my wife go over there, The football coach is one of the chaperones. Going to sleep. I trust my wife. My wife trusts me. In everything that you do, put God first. How about that? Put God first. If God says to do something, you do what God said. Well, I don't know if I want to do that. Really? Then who's your God? Because something is your God. Whatever you're putting first is your God. I've watched parents, a parent that was attending here, they always put their child first. Whatever, the child first. I'm like, that child is going to be such a problem. No, she's not going to be. Oh, yeah, she is. Going to be a big problem. Why? Because none of my kids are God. Not any of them. All my kids think that someone else in the family is the favorite. All my kids think it is not the same kid either. It's not like it's always Ariel. Because Elijah is your favorite. Because Lizzie is your favorite. Because Adrian is your favorite. Because Jordan is your favorite. When I have to talk to them, I'm like, you know how I'm not fair with my other kids because of you? They'll get punished for what you just did, and you didn't get punished. What? I didn't get punished? Oh, yeah, they would have gotten whooping a long time ago. They would say you're the favorite. What? So who's the favorite in my family? None of them are my favorite. Not my natural born or my added to. None of them are my favorite. Why? I manage. I'm not the owner. Do you understand the difference? I'm managing all 5. I don't own them. Because Adrian and Jordan came in later does not mean that I love them less. Matter of fact, we've had to change our lifestyle many times because of Adrian and Jordan. Is that considered love? Yeah, that is considered love. We've had to change our house just to cater them. Now, what difficulty are you dealing with? Oh, they're all dealing with something. But if I am telling you something that I've had to experience, and I can turn around and tell you, you can live through it and be productive and be happy. You can live through it and be productive and be happy. You can. My wife and I are already preparing for the next phase of our life. What's the next phase when they all leave? Is that going to be a problem? Yes, it is. Yeah, it is going to be a problem. I'm going to be stuck with just her. Well, guess what? I better like her. So what do? We need to hang out more often, do some stuff, because, I don't know you as well as I used to know you. Why? As soon as it's just going to be me and you, and what if I don't like you? I need to learn to like you. Come on, let's do stuff. You need to like me. Goodness, I'm getting older. I'm crabby sometimes. So, manager, at the end of this message today, I want you to walk out of here and make sure you put on your little sign on you. You're the wife. You're the co-manager. Well, what do we call that in today's word? You're the assistant. You're the assistant manager. Walk out of here today with your name tag. I assist manage. I'm not the head manager. I'm the assistant. Well, what if the manager's not managing well? It's not your problem. You're the assistant. We don't have a problem if that was our job, right? You understand? If it was your job and your manager's not doing all that the manager's supposed to do, you're like, I'm the assistant. As long as I'm getting paid my assistant pay, I'm okay. If he's not doing it, if you bump me up to manager, it comes with pay. Easier to deal with, right? Our ladies, easier to deal with. We got our tags on? Because I got mine. I'm going to probably bring it next Sunday and put it on my manager. That's what I do. As pastor, guess what I do? Pastor's a manager. Teacher, guess what that is? Manager. Do you understand? In everything that God has called us in the leadership, we just manage. You own your own business. And you're a Christian, you're a manager. God owns your business. When it starts doing good, don't forget God owns it. Because every business has its ups and downs. You'll do good for a while. You'll do bad for a while. You'll do good for a while. You'll do bad for a while. It's okay if you're the manager. Don't take everything so seriously. Delilah dealt with Samson with wisdom. Now in your relationship, deal with wisdom. Let's review. Don't touch dead things. Stay away from things that have alcohol. And don't cut your hair. You're giving us no, let's think about it spiritually now. Can we think about it spiritually? Spiritually, stay away from things that are dead. How many things in your life are dead and you're trying to resurrect? Stay away from dead things. Spiritually speaking, stay away from things that don't allow you to have your right mind. Spiritually speaking, your hair is your glory. Keep your glory on you. Understood? Can we all do those things? If I get angry, can I lose my glory when I'm angry? It only depends on how I react. I can be angry. The Bible says be angry. It says that in the Bible. I have the right to get angry. But it also says, but sin not. Get mad. You're allowed to get mad. But the next thing that comes out of you, don't sin. The young man that broke those windows yesterday of that car, he didn't sin. What? It's his car. If he did it to my car, he sinned. Go to jail for vandalism. Can't do it to my car. Do it to your car. Was he angry? Yes. Did he deal with his anger? Yes. What does he need? Anger management classes. That's what he needs. That's it. So let's learn this lesson today.